Okay, I think we're live. Hey gang, hi, it's Nettie Estes, and here it is Monday night again. I'm in soggy, soaking, wet South Carolina, and if you haven't heard what's been going on here, uh, well, I'm sorry to say, but we have been it's been a disaster here in all seriousness. There's been flooding going on in the city that I live in. The state of South Carolina itself has just been hit with massive, massive rain. They're saying it's the worst in 1,000 years. Not quite sure how they know that because I don't think anybody aside the American Indians even lived here 1,000 years ago. But that's what they're saying. And thankfully, everyone is pulling together in this state and helping out. I'm so proud of our state because there's been no looting, no crime, no shooting, no fires. It's just been people helping people. So before I even get started tonight, I want to thank you for any prayers that have been said towards the people in this state. They've needed it, and I thank you very much. And if you could just keep us in our prayers, I would appreciate that too. There's been 9 people die from this, and we don't want to make it any more. I'm just waiting for a call now to see if another dam has burst, and I'll know from that if I'll be on the road tomorrow or I won't be on the road. But anyways, we're not here to talk about me, but I do want to thank everybody for all your prayers and your blessings. And tonight, I want to welcome you to coming to our hangout. We do this every Monday night to inspire all of you, to motivate you, to train you, to help you get through the next week so that you can tackle your business, whatever that is, and have a positive outcome from it with the little tidbits that we give you in order to help you. Excuse me. And tonight's not going to be any different. We're discussing a great topic. I do want to, before I get into that, though, I want to say welcome, welcome to the new ones. And, of course, welcome, welcome to our diehards that show up every single week for us. If you are new, please put your name in the chat and say hi. We would love to say hi back to you, and I'm sure the rest of the people that are watching will join in and say hi to you also. If you've got any questions at all, please ask them during the evening, during this hour that we're going to talk. Put them in the chat roll. We will answer them. We're all available by private message, too. If you don't want to put it out in the open, that's okay. But we will try and help you get through. We do this for you, the dreamer, the doer, the entrepreneur. That's why we're here every Monday night. So tonight, the topic is it's time to get out of your own way. When I saw this swipe come through to talk about this, because our beloved little Kristen down there, she wrote the swipe and she did such an awesome job. I thought, man, that is an amazing topic to talk about. I don't think there's a person on this panel that probably couldn't go on and on for the whole hour just themselves to talk about it, because there are so many things that get in our way. It can range from any kind of what I want to call excuse from money to your family to not enough time to I can't do that, I don't understand it, to so many things, and we could just go on and on about them. But we're going to try, and we'll all take our turn, and I hope that we hit one of the reasons why you need to get out of your own way and get on. Now, I have 2 points I want to make tonight. And the first tip that I've got for you is listen to your gut. So many times, how many times can you say throughout your life that you have gone after something has been said and done and you've gone, I knew it, I should have listened to my gut? How many times do we say that? It goes on all our life, and we ignore our gut. And we should not do that. I mean, it starts when we're very, very young. Even though people try and program us from day one as to the way that we should turn out and what we should do and how we should be and how we should act, that's a bunch of gobbledygook. I mean, I saw something posted on Facebook today by one of the girls on the team, Beth. She posted this video about if you were belonging to another family, or if you were in another situation or something, what would your attitude be like? How would you tackle things in life? And that's another topic that I could go on for hours about, because a lot of people say it's environment. You know, if you lived with a different family, well, you'd be a little different because of environment. Well, being an adopted child, I can tell you that it is genetics in a big, big way. And it literally took me years to throw off the chains from what I had been raised to believe and go out on my own. Even though all my life my gut was telling me things. All my life. You know, in teenage years in school, I loved sports. Love sports. And I think that's the only reason I went to high school, was to play sports, because as far as academic wise, it was just a big bore to me. I liked history. Now, what can you do with history? I mean, you know, but anyways, it was a big bore to me, and I lived for the time when school was over, because that's when practice would start with the athletic teams. And although I was a bit of a pygmy in height, I had some talent going on. I had really good hand-eye control. So basketball and volleyball I was really good at. And I would go home. I would stay for almost 2 hours practicing after school. And I was on the team. And I had about 1.5 miles to walk home, all uphill, mind you. You know, that's what they say, it's all uphill. But I would get home, and I would walk in the door, and the fight would be on. Like the mushroom cloud that you would see over our house, that was because, like, Mom would be, why are you doing that? It's not doing you any good. You don't need sports. You need English. You need math. You need this. And what she didn't realize, like, my gut was saying, I had to do this. I had to play sports. That's what made me happy. I listened to my gut. It kept me off the street. It gave me teammates that I learned, you know, how to work with a team. I learned how to mastermind with a team. I learned how to be disciplined. It was so good for me. And yet she couldn't see it. She had me programmed that I should be doing something with English. I should be doing something with math, which to this day, A plus B equals C, I still can't figure out what that's all about. But, you know, my gut as a teenager, even back then, told me that this is what I should be doing, that this was good for me, because I was getting lessons in life from it. Now we get into our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50, and I'll be the first one to say that life takes over. And it's very easy for us to say, you know, I've always wanted to do this, but I don't have the time or something else. My gut has always said I should be doing it. Listen to your gut. You only go around this once. You only go around. I wished I had followed my gut a lot earlier than what I actually did to get into this kind of a business. But the one thing that I did do was I encouraged every one of my kids to do it, because I knew they were young and they were, you know, they could mold themselves into something like that. So any kind of dream they had, I was like, yeah, go after it, you know. It took me a while to shake off those chains. But that's my first thing. If your gut is telling you that you should be doing whatever, you know, maybe it's what we're in, you know, blogging and helping people and self-development, but maybe it's in floral arrangements, or maybe it's restaurant owner, or maybe it's real estate, or maybe it's a dog trainer or something. If that is what you've always wanted to do, listen to your gut and don't let your life get sucked into that nightmare of a budget on a job that you hate. Don't do that. Listen to your gut. It will work out. I can promise you that. Whatever you have to change in your life to follow your gut, it will work out. It will. Whether it's to do with the relationships, it will work out. Okay? So that's my one thing that I want to say to you. Always listen to your gut. But now, once you've made that decision to listen to your gut, what's the next thing you should do? Well, I say go out. Now let's just talk about you want to leave this wonderful corporate job to go into dog grooming or dog training. Let's say dog training, okay? Who are you going to model yourself after? You have to go out and you have to find somebody who is the very best in that capacity and start to model yourself after them. Do not try and reinvent the wheel and say, well, I want to do it my way. Go out there, find people that have done this, whether it's a successful restaurant owner, whether it's a successful health and wellness person, whether it's a successful self-development person like Tony Robbins, for example. He is amazing. And model yourself after him. Go out there and go, I'm not saying copy, I am saying model. Like if he talks about certain ways, a certain language, start to use that language. Start to, implement it so that you feel comfortable and you're doing it with the best. And then when it comes to advertising, look at the way they advertise and don't copy, but model. Model after it. And if you do that, then your success is absolutely going to happen because they are the best of the best. Always find the best at what it is that you want to go after. Listen to your gut, what it tells you that you should be doing, because I don't care who you are, there's something in there that you have been, holding down that you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's traveling. I don't know what it is. But for heaven's sakes, don't lose that dream. Go after that dream. That's why you're here. You've been given this opportunity of life to be able to go after the things that you really want. And if it's business that you're starting to create, go after a person who has absolutely crushed it in your area that you're thinking of getting in and model. Model. And to me, that's all I'm going to give you tonight because I think that the other girls are going to add something to it. But those are my 2 tips. Go with your gut and then find somebody to model. And don't change it. Don't reinvent the wheel, okay? All right, so that's me. I want to move on and give it to Kristen right now and listen to what she's got to say. So take it away, Kristen.
I definitely will, but I just want to make sure, did Morgan need to go?
Excuse me, I was looking right at Morgan and calling her Kristen.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, we want to get Morgan in because she may have to leave to go get her little girlies. So go ahead, Morgan. I'm so sorry.
Awesome, thank you. No, that's fine. That's fine. I was going to go after Kristen. That would have been enough time anyway. But wow, I love what you said about finding people to model. I'm always Googling and searching out, fan pages and stuff about people, at the top of their game in the internet marketing sphere. And I actually found one the other day and I was absolutely just blown away. And you've probably heard, I've written her name down, Sandy Krakowski. I can't even say her name. You might have heard of her. Anyway, okay. So I went onto her blog. You have, yeah? Mm-hmm. I went onto her blog and I was just doing some stalking as I do, seeing what she does and that kind of thing. And to hire her for one day, she charges $24,000. That is just that blows my mind. I think she's been in the game for like 20 years or, whatever, but what she's doing is what we are doing. We've only been in the game for a couple of years, but just looking at somebody like her and just thinking that that's the potential of this industry, it's like, it doesn't have to stop with your opportunity. You're not just selling products to make money. You're actually building a business that is, it can be anything you want, it can be, you can go into coaching. This like Empower Network, iPass, any type of internet marketing that you're learning, it's just, the doors are just so open. You can get into coaching, you can get into copywriting for businesses, you can get into, just, you know, selling products, making your own products. There's so many doors can open, and it's just a complete example. You know, charging $24,000 for one day is just, it just blows my mind that somebody would even pay that. I mean, obviously it must be, you know, a massive business. But that's points on the side for now. I wanted to just basically say at the start that what you want in life is, no, have I said this the wrong way? I've written it down, hang on. Oh, the life that you want wants you to. I knew that there was a saying that I wanted to say. The life that you want wants you to. And it's like, if you've been able to dream something, if you've thought in the past, you know, you're starting a business and you're thinking, you know, that would be so awesome, I'd be able to do this, have this opportunity, have this experience, you know, have my family be able to travel, have additional income, whatever. Those things, they don't come to you for no reason. Like those are possible because they've come into your mind because they're already yours. You know, some people don't even think like that, okay? So if you're somebody who's actually managed to think those thoughts in the first place, you're already halfway there. Some people, think of other people who would never even dream of thinking that. Those people are like a lot further away from achieving that than you are if you are in a business and you've already had those thoughts. So give yourself a pat on the back for maybe you haven't achieved them yet, but if you can think that, if you can think right now, one day in the future, you know, I want this for my family and I want this and I can do this, and if you're able to put those thoughts in your head, then you're able to achieve them, because that is the first step. Okay, that is the first step to getting anything, because it's a vibration. So the thought that comes into your head is a vibration, and you've been able to attract that thought, so you're already halfway there. So I just wanted to let you know that. I want to give you some a couple of just tangible kind of things to get out of your own way. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get in the flow when you are working. So I say this all the time, but I like to talk about this. Something on my face. When you're sitting down to work, if you're not in flow, if you're stressed, if you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling uninspired, if you're, you know, feeling like, oh, I just don't want to be doing this right now, I can't be bothered, don't do it. You don't have to do it. No one's forcing you to do it. This is your choice. This is your life. You are choosing to do this business, and nobody's forcing you to do it. So if you don't want to do it in that moment, don't do it. Take yourself away, get yourself in flow, go for a run, go for a walk, go to sleep, go, you know, take a whole day off. It doesn't matter, but when you come back, you need to be in flow, because the business that we're in is the business of service. It's the business of speaking from the heart, giving value and inspiring other people. And in that inspiring, that teaching, that motivating, people buy our products and they follow us and that kind of thing. So if you're not in flow, you're not bringing your most authentic self to the table, and who the hell's going to listen to you? If you're not in that right vibration, no one's going to care. So you need to, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your audience, you owe it to everybody to be able to be, you know, in the perfect place to be able to, you know, those words that will come to your mind when you're blogging, you know, you're writing your blog posts, you're writing your emails, you're creating your products, whatever you're doing, you need to be able to have the best version of yourself coming forward. Otherwise, don't even bother, because it's just, you're not going to sell anything, no one's going to follow you, and you really need to just bring your best game every single time you write something. And I hope that doesn't sound too harsh, but once you get in the practice of just sitting down and getting in flow before you work, it's going to be a lot better. What's the next thing I have? Be disciplined. Okay, so in this business, I've come to the realization that you have to have an absolutely sickening work ethic. There is no chance for you to just do some work one day, not the next. You have to be hungry, and you have to want, and you have to work consistently, and, you know, in flow and inspired, and just be so committed to your overall vision that you just are just. You're just doing it. You're doing it because if you don't have that work ethic, it's the type of business that you just have to work at. Okay, and if you look at anybody in any profession, you look at even the corporate professions. If you're looking at legal people, the law partners, and that kind of thing that have got to the top of their game in what they choose to be in, which is the corporate grind, which I don't choose to be in, but that's what they've chosen. They work long hours. They dedicate themselves to their practice. They're training up the younger people. It's all about, you have to continuously work whatever craft you're in. So if you one of these people who don't have a very good work ethic, maybe you come across sometimes as lazy, you procrastinate, that kind of thing, that is a massive thing that you have to work on. You really need to just recognize it in yourself, say to yourself, okay, yes, I procrastinate, yes, I'm unmotivated, yes, I put off things I need to do, and you need to turn that around, because if you don't turn that around, that's going to really stop your success in your business, because you're not going to get enough done in the time frame that you have to actually make it work. So that's the second thing. Third thing, recognize behaviors and thoughts that aren't serving your mission. So everybody has thoughts that come into their mind and behaviors that they do that don't serve what they do. It's just completely natural. Everyone does it. The people that succeed in this industry and the people that succeed in life in general recognize those behaviors and thoughts when they crop up, and they take action to get rid of them and to move forward. Because if you're continuously living the same old life, same old pattern, same behaviors, same thoughts, and they're not serving you, you're not going up, you're not going down, you're just staying as you are. So if you can recognize them, if you're sitting there one day and you're thinking things and they start coming up and you're thinking, oh, this isn't really serving me, you need to figure out a way to get rid of those thoughts, and it comes from your belief system, and you need to do work around that personal development. With regards to actions, if you notice yourself procrastinating or not working as you're supposed to work, you need to deliberately take action to change that. Okay, so recognize and then change it. Basically, that's the fourth one. That's the third one and the fourth one, and then I will call it a wrap because I think I've been more than 10 minutes. Have a bigger vision for your business. So I find this helps me a lot. If people always say have a bigger vision, have a bigger vision, and it's kind of like, well, what's your bigger vision? Are you trying to save mankind, or what are you trying to do? For myself, I just have a bigger vision on my business, and maybe that'll expand as I get further up in my business. But for myself, it's not just about, and this is what I was touching on at the beginning of the talk. So it's not about, okay, I'm in an opportunity and I'm selling products. That's how you can think about your business, but I encourage you to think bigger about your business, and you do that by doing what I said before, like researching out people who are really up there and looking at what they do, coaching, copywriting for companies. What other things can you incorporate into your business so that you get excited about your business? Like when I first started this business, it was just about the products and the opportunity, but now I'm just starting to discover my brand and what else can I put out in the marketplace. Can I make my own products? Can I offer coaching? I know a lot of skills about Facebook PPC. Can I offer that as a coaching package? And I'm looking at doing that. So it's not just about selling products, because the products can come on the back end, but you need to build this vision, this bigger business idea at the front end, so that you can offer valuable services. And I'm reading, I think the girls on the panel have read, is it The Millionaire Messenger, that book? So I'm about 3/4 of the way through that, and I think that book, although it's about the expert industry, which is predominantly a industry where you kind of choose a niche or a niche, and you basically learn, study, create products, and sell products that way, and become, a speaker or a coach or something. What we're doing is not really different. I believe that although we have got an opportunity and we've got products that we sell on the back end, we can become experts on the front end, and then we can put people into our opportunity on the back end. So we can actually choose to be, into the personal development niche, or, into online marketing, have like an online marketing, be an expert at online marketing, learn everything, master online marketing. And then when people come to you for that service, you've got the system at the back that we sell to be able to get them to the blogging platform, get them into the all the different trainings, all the different awesome products that we sell. So I think if you want to get out of your own way, you need to be inspired about your business. And for myself, that comes from being bigger than Empower Network. I can't just be about that and that's it. I've got to create something bigger within my brand, within myself. And I think becoming an expert at something and being kind of proud of what you're doing, as opposed to just being a network marketer. You've got to be proud of what feel proud of what you're doing, and that can come from creating a bigger brand, a bigger business, and just bigger services, and adding more to the marketplace. Right, I think I've about done my dash, so I'll pass it back to Nettie. Thank you.
Thanks, Morgan. Whoa, wait a minute, I'm getting an echo. You guys hearing the echo? No? Okay, okay. I think Morgan muted herself. Yeah, excellent points. And you know what Morgan touched on at the very end there about marketing herself and getting something bigger and branding and etc. I know that seems very scary for a lot of you newbies out there, but do not be frightened by that. You can write a one-page ebook that you can be an expert at. You know, it's just, you don't have to go out there and market a huge product. You can just start with something very small and really focus in on what you're good at and become the expert. And I think Erica likes to say that, you know, be the expert at what you're talking about. So anyways, I'm going to move right along to Kristen this time. And take it away, dear, okay? Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm so glad that Morgan mentioned a lot of what I was going to touch on, like in an overview, but I really wanted to get very specific because when I was thinking about the topic for tonight, I kind of went back to when I first got started. And I've actually shared this story with Erica before. And because I remember the very first day that not in the company we were in, but a previous company, which got me into this whole industry. I remember sitting there in a little home hotel meeting, which, okay, I just had to go to a different hotel meeting just the other night, and I'm not going to lie, I was so, like, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that we're online now. I'm so grateful I don't have to sit through these anymore. I'm so glad I don't have to do these anymore. It was just painful. It was honestly painful to sit through this hotel meeting. I really wish I had a glass of wine with me, but I managed. I managed to get through it. And no, I'm not joining anything else. I was going there as a favor to a friend. So anyways, but I remember sitting in this hotel meeting just over, I think it was about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that. And when they were all done, I remember looking at my parents, or I think it was my dad with me. I remember looking at my dad and I said, I can do this. And I had such an incredible amount of confidence and belief. And I remember, I literally remember the feeling I had when I just said, I can do this. This is for me. I will make this happen. And I got to work, and I worked my butt off. And I did build a small team, and then, you know, long story short, I went online. But then I remember periods of time where that story changed, where all of a sudden I created new stories for myself. I created a story of not being good enough, of not valuing myself enough, so many stories. And so that's really the stories that I want to touch on tonight, because I know that they're stories that we all have to deal with at one point or another along this journey. And it's those stories that create exactly what Morgan was talking about. They're going to create the discipline, or they're not going to create the discipline. They're going to impact it one way or the other. The stories that you're telling yourself, those are going to impact whether or not you're capable of getting into the flow. So for example, there's two that I kind of want to touch on, because I see this all the time, and yes, I've used them myself, so I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm talking to you, because I am talking to you, because we've all said this. I don't have enough time. If only I had more time in the day. If only I had more hours. If only I had less to do on my to-do list. I've said this, I'm guilty of this, and I'm not going to lie, sometimes I remind myself, I'm like, okay, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, all these people, they have the same amount of hours in a day. So if they can do it, what the heck am I complaining about? So I got to thinking the other day, I was like, you know, these are little stories that we tell ourselves throughout the day, and we make those stories become our reality. So if you're waking up in the morning stressing about not having enough time in the day, well, guess what? You're going to make it so that you don't have enough time in the day. You are going to make sure that you don't get everything done, because you've already created that for your day. So that's just one example. Where if you just simply change that story of, instead of waking up and saying, oh, I have such a big to-do list, how am I ever going to get this done, I just wish I could spend more time on my business, change the questions of what you're asking yourself. Ask yourself, how can I get more done? How can I be more focused? What do I need to focus on first? You know, and then tell yourself, give yourself the positive positive statements of, I'm so grateful for all the time that I have. I'm so grateful that I have 24 hours today. And even if you don't have 24 hours, obviously, to work on your business, you can say, you know what? I am so grateful that I have 2 hours to focus on my business. And just by changing how you look at something, it's going to change your outcome. You know, so many people, they're like, I only have 2 hours to work on my business. It's not enough time. And so then you don't really work on your business during those 2 hours because you've kind of already self-sabotaged. So just by simply changing that little story, you're going to change everything about your day. And the second thing that came to mind is, again, I've said this, even though I am young. Well, I'm just not good at technology. I don't understand the internet. I hate this word because I never can say it. Technologically challenged. You know, and we tell ourselves this, which may or may not be true. You may not be very familiar with the internet or with social media or using a computer. Sorry about the phone. I don't answer that phone. So we tell ourselves a story. So what happens is, anytime you have to learn something new, this story is running in the background of your mind, and all of a sudden, something really, really small all of a sudden turns huge because you've already told yourself that you can't do this, that you don't know how to handle, how to figure out how to post something to Facebook, or because you're just not good at it. So again, it's like these limiting beliefs that we place on ourselves based on the stories we're telling ourselves. And if you actually stop and think about how many times we do this throughout the day, it's kind of amazing. And it's exactly what Morgan was talking about, you know, with our thoughts and behaviors. And the only thing that separates people who are successful from people who are still on that journey is the ones who are already successful. They've learned how to recognize that, and they've learned how to control them, and they've learned how to reframe the stories and the statements and whatever it is that's going on in your head. And so for me, I talk really quick because I'm like, man, I have like 15 minutes worth of speaking at least, and I'm like 3 minutes. I'm like, crap. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyways, I can make do. I can talk more. Anyways, what I do, okay, because you know, I speak from personal experience. Whenever I come on here, a lot of the time I get off this call and I'm like, and they ask me, somebody will ask me something. I'm like, yeah, I just basically tell people what I deal with. Okay, I deal with those stories of not having enough time. I deal with those stories of saying, man, I just have so much to learn. I have so much to learn. I'm so behind. And these stories won't get you anywhere. You know, stories about money. Well, if only I had more money to invest in my business. Guess what? I went down that road before thinking, oh, if I could only create another stream of income to help build this business, oh, it would be okay. No, that's a bunch of BS. That's not going to help you. You focus on one thing, because here's a little side note here, because this just came up recently again. The whole idea of like building something else online to help build an income for your main business, here's one thing every single person forgets. In order to build that little side business, you have to have the same skills that we're learning in your main business. So if you can't do it in your main business, you're not going to be able to do it in that other little business. So it's a waste of time. And again, personal experience here. It just doesn't work. Does not work. Ask my parents how many other little things we've joined on the side. Does not work. Save your money, save your time, focus. And again, and it goes back to changing your story, because that was also a story that people tell themselves, if only I could have another stream of income, then everything would be okay. No, it won't, because there's a reason why you're not successful in the business you're in. There's something stopping you. There's some story, there's something that's holding you back. And you know, I kind of laugh because I love what Nettie says about following your gut. The problem is too many people use their gut as an excuse. They say, but I don't know how to describe it without being really like mean. So I'll give an example. Okay, my gut was that I could do this. That was my first reaction, that I could do this. So anything else that I try to tell myself along the journey, that's a bunch of BS, and I had to recognize that. And that goes for the same thing for you. You have to go back to that very first, just like it said in the email that we sent out. You have to go back to that first feeling when you first were excited, when you first said, I can do this, when you clicked on the link and you said, I know I can do this. This is all me. Those days when you wake up and you feel good, those are the days that you have to remember. And you have to keep going back, because there are going to be days where you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do this. And then like Morgan said, if you're not feeling inspired, if you're not at the right vibe, or I'm not into all that talk, so I don't really know, but if you're not at the right level, then you got to get back there. So it's okay to take a step back, but again, from personal experience, it's very easy to say, oh, I'm just not feeling creative today, so I'm going to take the day off. Yeah, BS again. Calling BS. Anyone play that game? The card game, you know, where you call BS? I have to get my family together to play. I haven't played that in years. So anyways, card games aside, you have to not let yourself say, oh, I forgot what I was saying because I'm wanting to play cards. I don't know. Side note again, I don't know how Dave Wood does that, the whole open loop things, because I can't do that. Like, I just did like a little side note thing, and I forgot what my main point is. So, yeah, and now I've talked even more, so I'm never going back to it. So, and now Erica's laughing at me, so now I'm really distracted. So here's the deal. Go with your gut, yes. But always remember that when you wake up, that's what, when you're not feeling creative, really dig deep and ask yourself, is it really that I'm not feeling creative? Is it really that I don't have it in me? Or is there something holding me back? Is there some story that I woke up telling myself that is really just being an excuse? Because, again, personal experience here. I've had those days where you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm just not feeling creative. I'm just not feeling good. You know what? It wouldn't do me any good to do a video right now because I'm just not feeling it. Those are probably the days, and I'm going to say a little bit opposite of Morgan, those are probably the days you actually do need to do something. Maybe it's not the day you go out and create your first product or something really crazy, but it's the day that you say, okay, I got to do something. Because if you don't, that you're going to wake up the next morning with the same exact story running through your head. I'm just not feeling very creative today. You know, I just don't have it in me. And that's going to be the repetitive story that you wake up every morning, and before you know it, a few weeks go by and you've done nothing for your business. And then you come in and you're like, if only I had more time in the business. And then you create a whole nother excuse and a whole nother story of why you just took the last 3 weeks off. So again, my point is this. Your stories make a huge difference. And it's not the big stories we tell ourselves. It's those little itty-bitty things that we tell ourselves every 30, 40 seconds, okay? And it's those stories and those thoughts that we have to control. And with that, I filled up the 10 minutes. I filled it up. I knew I could do it. So I'm going to pass it back on to you, Maddie.
Kristen, don't stop, darling. You're on a roll. Everyone wants you to keep talking.
Well, don't tell me. I mean, I can talk all night, but, but no, that's pretty much what I got. Just, you know, yeah. That's what I got.
I think it was awesome. I think you drove home some really amazing points, and I could have listened to you all night, so don't feel bad. When people are laughing at you, you're getting a good reaction. You are coming across. They're getting it. They're hearing it, and they're loving it. So, job well done there, kiddo. And now all of you out there know why we had Kristen write the swipe for this, because she knew exactly what to say and how to get it across to us. So, well done, kiddo. And Zen, how are you feeling? Are you up to talking to us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been listening, and this is so interesting because, Kristen, when you said change the story, you're telling yourself, yeah, I woke up and I wasn't feeling so good. I caught a little something on the way out of Cebu, and I don't know, felt a little funky, but it hasn't gone full bore yet. So I've just been trying to rest and kind of chill, and so I changed the story to I don't really want to feel not good. I want to feel good, so I'm going to go there. Because happiness is a state, and you can change your energy to get there anytime you want to. So whether that keeps me awake for the next 3 hours, 4 hours, or the rest of the day, we don't know yet, but that's where I'm going to stay for now. God, I took so many notes while we were talking, and I really want to get to the whole Cebu thing. I think, as many of you know, I moved to Shenzhen, China fairly recently and went to Cebu last week. And one thing that really struck me, so I'm going to come from an entirely different viewpoint. As we drove to this resort in Cebu, I was looking around, and there's all these little nooks and crannies as we're driving down the road. It actually made me a little bit nauseous to keep turning my head to look. But there are kids playing in the street, no shoes, no shirts. There's people with very little money, and there's all these little alleyways all along the road. And I'd look down there, and it was just a shanty town. Tin roofs, wood slapped together, haphazard for housing. And I thought, I thought to myself the same thing I said to an immigrant friend that really glommed onto this statement years ago, and that is, Western people have lifestyles and other people have lives. And Western people often need coaching, which Morgan mentioned, just to stay on track with that ability to have so many options. We have so many options, whether we decide to be self-disciplined or not, or lazy or not, or procrastinate or not, or follow a big, huge leader and become like that or not. Some people never have the opportunity to even think about that because they're so in survival mode. They're selling bananas by the side of the road. I mean, some enterprising young man, I was in Cebu traffic where I'm breathing these fumes from the air conditioning coming through until I requested that they put it on recycled air, Western as I am. But this man is walking down the road selling bottles of water, bullets of sweat pouring out of his head, and he's got water on ice, and that's what he's doing for a living. So our options are just endless, and that actually can be the root of some Western issues. And that's why people need coaching to stay on track, because there's so many options. Like Kristen said, you can think, oh, maybe I just need another stream of income. Let me go there. Ooh, let me do this, and I can actually get more inspired. Ooh, let me follow that leader and emulate their language. Yes, we can do all these things, but we still have to stay on track with who we are and stay true to that. And that's the interesting thing. It has to be real. It has to be you. It has to be who you are and just how you are in general. You cannot package anything else. I don't care what kind of product you're coming up with or how clever it is. If it doesn't emulate and help other people tap into who they are and bringing up that energy to be happy with that, you can't help them with any tech challenges. And I just wanted to speak to that for one moment because Kristen brought that up, and I think, as I just mentioned, I live in China now, so I'm behind the Google wall. So I've had some VPN issues, and if you don't know what that is, that's a virtual personal network, which means that you tap into somewhere else outside of China to access Google products. So, you know, Twitter or any of the social medias that they're against here in China. So I just got a new virtual personal network because my old one kept dropping out and my Wi-Fi kept dropping out and nothing was working. Challenges, challenges, challenges. And I just kept thinking, well, it'll sort out. Something will happen and it'll sort out. So I found a different VPN, and right now I'm tapped in through Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is okay with Google products. So I've got a great connection. I've got a great Wi-Fi connection, and I'm good to go again. But when you come down to, you know, things like technology, you learn as you go, and yes, it can be frustrating. Yes, it can be frustrating. But I'll just give you an example. When I was a young hairstylist, it can be really daunting to have somebody come in when you're a newbie, extreme hairstyle, and you know you have the skills to pull it off. You just have to figure out, how do I put this together today, right now? What do I do to the best of my abilities? Get that hand around a scissor, get that hand around that comb, and get in that head. And really, I would tap into being quiet. People like to talk when they get their haircut. I would shut up. Keep talking. Go ahead. I'm not listening, not really. I'm nodding and I'm creating. And that's what you have to tap into when you approach new technology issues. You just have to go, okay, to the best of my ability today, how can I get through this and do it to the best of my ability and get it to where it needs to be? What can I do? And after, if anything fails, you go tap into another resource, a friend that's in the same industry, or just go Google it. You know, Google what you need to know. And let's see, I'm feeling a little all over the place because I took, you know, so many notes. But in terms of getting out of your own way and vision, I just wanted to say to Morgan, yeah, I am here to save humankind. That's just how it is. I want to save humankind. I want to save them from themselves, because people just put themselves under such pressure. If they're procrastinating, if they're lazy, they bring out that big boot and start chasing themselves around like a mean stepmother. And you don't need to do that. You need to just step away momentarily and tap into the things that you like about yourself. Because I'll tell you, when you tap into the things that you like about yourself, you elevate that energy mood, that happiness mood. Because you can accentuate the things that you don't like about yourself. It's like looking at your own face in the mirror. You can pick out 10 things that you don't like. Or you could sit there and love 3 things that you do. And guess what? Both will give you an entirely different attitude. So that's my suggestion. Step away momentarily and tap into the things that you're liking, that you're doing that day, the things that you like about yourself, that you bring to the party, that you bring to people, your ability to coach them in certain areas of life. Now, maybe I might not be able to give you all the techie answers that you have, but I do know who has those answers and how they can help you. Now, if you want answers, or help, I should say, can't always give you answers. I can help you tap into your own answers about who you are, into yourself. That I can help you with. That I can coach you in. I mean, I was a hypnotherapist one-on-one before. I can do it with groups and with other people now to help you tap into the energy that you want to exude to the world. Because it's interesting, when I watch Kristen, Morgan, Nettie, and Erica, there's a certain energy that they give out. And if I had to guess, I would guess that Morgan was in business or an attorney before. There's a certain energy, there's a certain pragmatism to her approach. And Nettie, I think, guessed that she's, you know, the wizened woman from the corporate world who's an observer, been an observer for quite some time. And Erica has got really good people chops, sales chops. I mean, there's a certain vibe there, a certain energy, a certain enthusiasm that just blows through her videos. And I love that they're in sepia tone, some of them now. It's great. And Kristen, I just love your off the cuff, you know, oh crap, I forgot what I was going to say kind of stuff. I think it's, you know, it just brings humor and levity to the situation. And like I started with, we have so many options that it's almost like honing in on what's going to be my option. Who am I? Who am I going to tap into? What exactly am I branding about me to bring to this party that we often struggle with because we have so many options. So I don't want to bring a negativity into it, but when you're thinking in that mode, think about people who have literally no option other than to sell bananas or bottles of water in the street to feed the fam. Because then you'll tap into things like, and I want to give you just one wealthy mind tip before I go. You know, I read Millionaire Mindset, and when I used to live in Palos Verdes, I mean, that is the epitome of arriving in the Los Angeles area. You're living up in the greenery of Connecticut, high above LA, you have this killer view, and most of the people that live there are millionaires and billionaires. And you know the one thing that they all agree on, that they spend a lot of money on? It's not clothes and Ferraris, although some of them have that too. And they spend money or are willing to go into debt over education and houses. Now, I've been through the 80s debacle where putting too much money on credit cards didn't set people up for good things. So I'm not real prone to thinking that way. And that's my belief system. But I do believe that if you want to do that and you're willing to slap down that credit card for your education, you go do that, because that would be important to tapping into who you are. And so I'm going to end it right there, because I think we've heard enough about tapping into who you are and how to brand yourself. So I'll turn it back over to you, Nettie. Thanks.
Thanks, Zen. Fantastic advice. And I cannot let it go without saying that, you nailed Erica, Kristen, and Morgan, and myself, and you are absolutely our self-development amazing mentor of the group, and people can see that. I mean, you speak that language, you speak hope, you speak wisdom, you speak belief into people that they can do this, and we thank you for that. Thank you very much. So, hey, Miss Shirley, you made it on. It's so good to see you here. Thank you for coming. Did you want to add something to this group? What we were talking about?
Hey guys, hey Nettie. I honestly have nothing prepared, and I'm just here to spend time with you guys. I just want to encourage you, if you're listening to this hangout tonight, you've come to the right place. I know as soon as it ends, I'm gonna, hit play, and I'm gonna listen to everything you guys have said. I think it's so important when you're looking at why you're not having success yet, that the answers aren't out there in the world. They're in here, right? The answers of why you're struggling, the answers of why you're having resistance and frustration. You don't need to go to another training. You don't need to go follow another guru. You need to start asking yourself some really honest questions, and it's so true. We get in our own way. And just wanted to add, also next week I'm going to be doing a training on Canva, just giving you guys a little shout out. So I'll go over just really briefly what I'm going to train on next week, because I don't have too much to add tonight. So really briefly, next week I'm going to be training on how to stand apart from the competition using the 4 basic but key elements in graphic design. So I'm going to be training you how to use Canva, how to use that, and also the exact tools and secret shortcuts in Canva that I use to create graphics in half the time and double the fun. Honestly, Canva is frustrating for many people. It was frustrating for myself when I first started, but all you need to do is get started with it, play around with it, and come spend time with us next week, and I'm going to show you some shortcuts. You're going to start loving it, and it's going to start blowing up your business. So make sure to catch us next week.
Thanks, dear. And I, for one, cannot wait, because I suck at Canva. And all I see is how wonderful it is and how easy it is. And I'm like, ooh! I'm just blowing fire out my ears, and I can't get it to work. So I can't wait for next. What's that?
I said, yay, I'm excited, because yes, that's one of my tech challenges. Everybody says it's so simple, and I go in there to play around, and I go, I can't do it. I don't get it.
I can't either. I can't. So I can hardly wait. I'm so excited about this. Thank you, Shirley, for doing that for us. And just so I'm going to move along now, because I want to give Erica a chance to talk to us too. So take it away, Missy. Tell us what your tidbits are for getting out of the way of yourself, and it's time.
Thank you. Tonight has been such a hilarious night. Like, we have gone from all different quadrants. It's just been hilarious to see where everyone's coming from in the subject. And I think it's amazing. I think it's really important to have so many different perspectives. And this is why I love this panel, because, whoever's, watching either live or watching the replay, different personalities are going to resonate with different viewers. So I'm really, really thrilled that we have so many different perspectives. And one thing I think that everyone needs to really tap into when they're getting stuck, when they're thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this, is a higher vision. It was mentioned, on the panel tonight, a higher vision. When you can come at your business with a sense of knowing that because it has worked for other people, it will work for me too, your energy changes. Morgan was talking about this, like being in the flow. When you have that sense of knowing, right? I spoke about this in a video the other day. There is no secret to success. Morgan mentioned it. You got to have a sickening effing work ethic. Okay. I think the first time I heard that was from Will Smith. He goes, I have a sickening work ethic. I would rather die on the treadmill than let anyone beat me. Right? And he's referring to life. if you can just get this one concept that there is no secret to success, there's no secret gene, there's no DNA for success. It doesn't matter where you've come from, it doesn't matter what your background is, what your education is, which family you got born into, anything. There is no DNA for success except you wanting it so bad, like Dave Wood says, you want it more than you want to breathe, right? When you come at your business with that passion, with that sense of, what's what I'm looking for, outcome, all of that monkey chatter, all of that negative crap that you start going on up here, it just disappears because you know you're here for a higher purpose. And someone was mentioning Zen, success is an inside job. Oh, no, sorry, beg your pardon. Oh, gorgeous, Shirley mentioned it. Success is an inside job. It starts on the inside, right? When you get that monkey chatter going on, right, my best advice is pick up a book, right? Listen to an Inner Circle audio. Get back to those 2012 Inner Circle audios when Dave Sharp and Dave Wood were just killing it every Monday night, right? If you guys want to get fired up and you guys want to remember why you got in this business, go back to those Inner Circles. Go back to the very, very beginning. And those guys were on freaking fire, right? From, gosh, when was it? I think it's like, I don't know, December, end of 2011, right up to the first Atlanta event, June 2012. Man, you could not get off a Monday night call and not feel pumped because you knew why you were here. You knew why you were doing this, right? I find that when people lose their energy, it's when they start to unplug, all right? And I beg you, when you feel that you're being unplugged, plug back in. Plug back into your community. Plug back into your inner circles. Plug back into your reading. Plug back in. It's a bad neighborhood up here sometimes, my darlings. And the only way you're going to get rid of that shit is you've got to put something better in. Get rid of the crap and put something better in, okay? So if you are, just feeling out of sorts, I beg you, don't pretend you're doing your inner circles every day. Do them. Don't pretend. Don't say, yeah, I'm doing my 8 core commitments. Don't pretend. Do them. Go back to the very beginning. I said this in another group the other day. I said, go back to the start. Go back to the start of this business. Remember what this business was built on. It was built on vision, right? It was built on a vision of making the masses free. Get back to that. All right, get back to that, okay? I know that when people are faltering, I know they're not listening to their audios. I know that. I only need to spend a couple of, 10, 15 minutes on people's blog posts that have audios in them, like videos from Tony Robbins or maybe Les Brown or something, and I am freaking pumped. I can't not be pumped if I'm listening to pumping stuff, right? So, darlings, just know that there is no DNA for success. There is no secret thing that you had to be born into. No, it comes from you. It's all you. Look around you. There are so many different versions of success in our industry, in other industries. There's no specific form that these people take. And the classic thought I want to leave you with before we wrap up is that, I wrote it down, what did I want to leave you with? It's really, really important. Oh, my favorite line. The only difference between you and someone who's successful is time. Is time. What did Tony Robbins say? People are rewarded in public for what they practice for years in private. Darlings, you guys are practicing. You guys are specializing. You are mastering your craft. You're becoming an expert in what it is that you do. Give yourselves a break if you're not where you want to be just yet, and know that you will get there. And the only difference between you and anyone else who's successful is time. All right, my darlings? And on that note, I'm going to hand it back to Nettie. Love you so much. See you next week, darlings.
Wow, what a powerful way to end. I'm pumped just listening to everything. I'm like, pumped. But I'm not doing 209 push-ups. But anyway.
You don't have to. Don't watch those videos.
But anyways, people, I know you've had to have gotten something good out of this tonight. And whatever tidbit you got, whether it was from Erica or Kristen or Morgan or Zen or Shirley or myself, it just capitalize on it, take it in, and make that help you get out of the way of yourself so that you can get going. Because you are the only one stopping yourself. And like Erica said, the only difference between yourself and somebody else that you look at that's had success is time. Time. You know, so anyways, on that note, I've got to get going because there's an Empower Hour call tonight, and it's David Woods himself. So a lot of people are going to want to get on for that and get pumped, pump you up, you know, how they used to say. But anyway, thank you for coming. If you would like to join our team, because we would love to have you, there is a Let's Get Started button right below this. All you have to do is click on that, and you will get signed up immediately. Or if somebody else invited you to come here tonight, just get back to that person and talk to them a little bit more and sign up through them. Or look for one of us on Facebook. All of us are available, and we'd love to talk to you. But for heaven's sakes, don't wait. Get at it right now. Get on, get in, get with the team. And on that note, I'm going to say good night. Next week, we're going to be back, same place, same time, different topic. It's going to be a training. It's going to be awesome. And be here because you are definitely going to learn something. So take care. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Love y'all.